Hello and welcome all of you students. Let's begin with the remaining part of the unit 3. Now this is the last content from the unit 3 and almost all the contents from the unit 3 we have finished. Now from the last lecture we are discussing about the language processor development tools, and last time we have discussed regarding the one of the language processor development tools, that is the LEX. And LEX being utilized for the purpose of generating the lexical analyzer, that is the first phase of compiler, which is used to generate the tokens and recognize the tokens. So regarding the LEX, last time we have studied, also I have covered the two practicals on the LEX, how to generate the lexical analyzer using the LEX and how to recognize the tokens. That also I have uploaded, you can go through that. Now today we are going to discuss about the second tool provided by the Unix, which is also helping us to develop and create the second phase of compiler, that is the syntax analyzer or the parser. And name of that tool is the Yak. So today we are going to discuss about the Yak, how to generate the syntax analyzer or the parser using the Yak tool, and also we'll see the one program related with that also, so that you can get the clear cut idea about the what exactly is the Yak tool and its specification and different features. So last time also we have discussed regarding the what exactly is the language processor, to understand the language processor development tool. So language processor is, in case of the program, is nothing but a particular system program which translate your source program into the uh, target program, where your source program is being written in the high level programming language. To convert that high level programming language into the low level programming language, into the machine code, there is a need of the language processor, because computer don't understand the high level language, computer only understand the machine code. So there is a need to convert that high level of programming language code into the machine code, and to do that we need to utilize the language processor. So language processor is a software program designed or used to perform tasks such as processing your program code and converting your program code into the machine code. Understood? And all of you know the example of such kind of language processors are these. Okay, already last time also we have discussed. So now to develop such kind of language processor like compiler or interpreter, it is not the easy job. It is a very difficult task. Understood? To design and develop the any system program is the most difficult task in the field of computer science and engineering. So now how this task can be made easy? Is there any some kind of automatic tools are available so that we can develop the language processor like compiler using some automatic way? Yes, so such a kind of tools we are discussing, and to design and develop the compiler or some phases of the compiler in the market, such kind of several software tools are available which help us to produce the compiler or to develop the compiler. And from the last some lectures we are discussing about such kind of tools, and the two best tool for compiler constructions are the LEX and the Yak. Already regarding the LEX, every details we have discussed. Understood? How to write the LEX program, then what are the format of writing the LEX program, what are the different section in that, how to write the LEX specification, how to write the translation rule, how to write the user function, and then how to compile that LEX program using the LEX compiler and generate the lex.yy.c. Again, compile that lex.yy.c using the C compiler and generate your lexical analyzer, and then checking your lexical analyzer by giving some input of some higher level programming language, and check whether that generated lexical analyzer is capable to recognize the tokens or not. And on that also we have seen the practical also. So today we are going to discuss about this yet another compiler, that is a Yak tool. Okay, as this also last time I told you, LEX is a lexical analyzer generator, which is the first phase of compiler. To generate the first phase of compiler in some automatic way, we utilize the LEX tool. And second tool is the Yak, yet another compiler. So this is the tool which is used to generate the second phase of compiler. So here I have written it is a parser or the syntax analyzer generator. Understood? The way we have generated the lexical analyzer using the Lex tool. Similarly, to generate the second phase of compiler, that is the syntax analyzer or the parser, we can utilize the Yak tool. And both of these tools are available under Unix operating system under the Ubuntu version or under the any version of Unix or the Linux. This is available. So I have shown you in the practical. If you have the Ubuntu operating system, you can easily install these tools and you can try how to generate the first phase of compiler. Okay. And today we will discuss about how to generate the second phase of compiler, that is how to generate the parser or the syntax analyzer using the Yak tool. Okay. And Yak stands for the yet another compiler. Okay. So this such kind of figure we have also discussed in case of the Lex tool. Same scenario is there. Only the specification will change. Input output will be changed. Understood? So here I have mentioned during the syntax analysis, we know during this parsing phase, the what is the role of compiler? The role of compiler is to take the input as a token from the lexical analyzer and try to check whether the input or as any expression or a sentence or the statement is having the valid syntax or not. So that is the exactly the work of the syntax analyzer or the parsing that already we know. Now, in order to generate such kind of syntax analyzer using some automatic tool, we are discussing the things. And such kind of automatic tool to generate such kind of syntax analyzer or parser is the Yak tool. Okay. So Yak is a software tool provided by the Unix operating system. Last time also I have shown you how to install it using the some commands like sudo apt-get install bison. This is the command using which you can install the Yak tool easily. Okay, so Yak is a software tool provided by the Unix operating system which help or assist to develop the second phase of compiler, that is parser or the syntax analyzer, using which you can check the syntax. Okay, whether particular sentence or the expression is syntactically correct or not. That thing you can easily check. Understood? So then next thing comes now how to construct this syntax analyzer or the parser using the Yak tool. So this is the actual way of constructing the syntax analyzer or the parser using the Yak tool. Understood? So now if you see this scenario, it is quite similar to the previous working of Lex, but here you can see the change I am telling you. Now in case of the Lex tool, here we are mentioning the Lex specification, but here as you want to generate the second phase of compiler, you have to give the input to the Yak compiler as a Yak specification. Means here you have to write the Yak program and any name dot y extension you have to give for the Yak program. Okay. In case of Lex, you are given the .l. So here first you need to write the Yak specification. Then you have to compile it using the Yak compiler, and then some C program will be generated that will be generated with the name y.tab.c. Okay, that will be generated with the name y.tab.c. This you can check, it will be generated on the home folder where you have saved this Yak program, just like in the Lex. Then second step is what? Again, second step is what? This C program which you have generated, that you have to compile using the C compiler again. Okay. And then C compiler will generate one executable file that is nothing but your syntax analyzer, or that is nothing but your parser. Okay. Now this a dot out is a executable file which you have to run then in the third step. So in the third step, you have to run this a dot out just like the third step we have performed in case of the Lex, where we have generated the lexical analyzer. Same here you have to run this as this is your syntax analyzer. You have to run this, and when you run this, you have to provide some input to that. Now, what is the input of syntax analyzer? If you remember the phases of compiler, then you can easily tell me this is your lexical analyzer as a first phase. This lexical analyzer of first phase taking the input as some source code. Then this source code generating this source code given input to the lexical analyzer. Lexical row, another role is what? Token, to generate the token, and this token is given as an input to the syntax analyzer or the parser. So input, so in order to check whether your syntax analyzer is working properly or not, or whether in order to check where your syntax analyzer can check syntax of statement correctly, you have to give the input in the form of some tokens. So here you can see input tokens from the lex. So input token from the lex will be given to the syntax analyzer, and then syntax analyzer will tell you, give you the some output, and that output will tell you whether your syntax is correct or not. Understood? So this is the whole scenario of constructing the constructing the syntax analyzer or the parser. On this also in the SPOS lab, we have to perform some practicals, and already one practical I have uploaded. Also, I will upload it once again, and second practical also I will upload. Okay, in that detail demonstration, the way we have seen the demonstration of previous two practicals of lex, same kind of demonstration is given in that practicals. You will get the clear idea about the implementation. Okay, so I hope you have understood the scenario. Yak, we have to write the Yak specification. Then as a Yak program given as an input to the Yak compiler, it will generate the C program. This C program again you have to compile with the C compiler. Then your syntax analyzer or the parser will be generated, and that to this, and then you have to give some input tokens to that syntax analyzer. This token you will receive from whom? This token you will receive from the Lex. Understood? So now you can see now there is a change in the running commands of this particular program that you will write. Okay, that I will tell you. Okay, so here you need to just understand the particular uh, uh, the way of constructing the syntax analyzer. Okay. Okay, now as I have written the same thing also here, but the first file containing the Yak input specification for a set of statement is prepared. Means first here you have to write the Yak program, and that in that Yak program, it consists of the three section also. Same like the Lex, it consists of the declaration, rule section, and the user function. That in the next slide I will tell you. So here you have to write the Yak program with input specification. Then this Yak compiler transform the file containing into the C program, like it will generate the two files, y.top.c and y.tab.h. So here two files will be generated, y.tab.c and y.tab.h. Now what is the meaning of this y.tab.c? y.top.c is nothing but the C program conversion of this Yak program, and this y.tab.h h is what that I will tell you next. Okay. Then here you have to compile it using the C compiler. Here I have mentioned y.tab.c is run through the C compiler, which produce the object program or executable program, that is the a.out. That is nothing but your parser or the syntax handler. Okay, here. The parser a.out can be run into the parse containing some stream of tokens. Means you can run, then you have to run this parser, and while you're running this parser, you have to provide some input, and then parser will check whether your input is having the valid syntax or not. So this is a whole working style of the of generation of syntax analyzer or the parser. Okay, now next thing we have to study about the what is exactly this Yak's input specification, and what are its different section, how to write these, that details we are going to study next. Okay, so here just like in case of the Lex also we have studied the Lex input specification. Here in case of the Yak we have the Yak input specification. So similarly the input of Yak is divided into three section. The your Yak program is also divided into the three section. Okay, so which are the three section? Same, the declaration section, translation rule section, and the user functions. Understood? Your translation rule section must come within these two symbols, and your declaration section must come between these two kind of symbols, that in the program also I shown you. Okay, so here you can read the declaration section consists of the declaration of different kind of variables, token declaration, and some C code header files, and that everything declare whatever things you want to declare, that must come within between these two symbols. whatever tokens you want to declare, whatever C code header files you want to mention, that everything should come between these two symbols. Understood? This is a mandatory format for the writing the Yak input specification. Okay. Then come to the translation rule section. Now translation rule section consists of the, now here there is a change in the rule section as compared with the Lex rule section. Now in the Lex rule section, what was our Lex rule section? Lex rule section was like this: pattern followed by the action. Okay. And in the pattern, you are writing the pattern using some regular expression. Okay. And in the action part, you are writing some C code or particular required code. So this was the case in case of the Lex. But in case of the Yak, now what pattern you are writing here using the regular expression, you are writing some rules. Okay. And if your input is according to that rules, then certain action is getting executed. Understood? Now here the need of Lex rule was what? It should able to recognize the tokens. For that, you are writing some patterns. Okay, you are writing some patterns so that some token can be recognized by matching it with the some input source program. Okay, but here our need is what? What is the role of syntax analyzer? The role of syntax analyzer is nothing but what? It should able to check the syntax. Now, how the syntax can be checked? In the natural language also, when we speak in the English, when I'm speaking here, you able to understand it because you have some knowledge of grammar. Understood? I am speaking it so because I have some knowledge of the grammar. Understood? So how you can judge my how you can judge me whether I'm speaking the correct English or not? You can judge me because you apply some grammar rules. Understood? And you judge me whether I'm talking syntactically correct or not, grammatically correct or not. Similar is the case when you are writing some statement, when you are writing some statement in the program like a plus b. Now it has to be ended by the semicolon. This is the syntax of writing such kind of statements. So, or if you writing the declaring the variable like int a, and it should be terminated by the semicolon. This is the way of declaring the variable in case of C language. Understood? Now, whether it is syntactically correct or not, how it will be get checked by the compiler. So for that purpose, how it will be get checked? It will be checked according to the some context free grammar. Okay. For the higher level language, this syntax checking is done with the help of what? Context free grammar. And in the rule section of your Yak program, the same thing we are going to mention. Understood? To check the syntax of your higher level programming language, what you have to write in the Yak translation rule, you have to write the context free grammar, because only using the grammar you can check whether your sentence is syntactically correct or not. And when you are writing the Yak program to generate the syntax analyzer, in the translation rule section, you have to write the grammatical rules. That grammatical rules are related to the context free grammar. Understood? So that is the comparison between the Lex rule and the Yak rule. So in the Lex rule, you write the patterns using regular expression because there you have to recognize the tokens. But in the Yak rule, you have to write the context free grammar rules with the production and associated action, because here we have to check the syntax. We have to create the syntax analyzer or the parser to check the syntax. So this is the format of writing the translation rule section of Yak, or translation rule section of your yes, yet another compiler. So what is the change here? Instead of pattern, here you are going to mention the production rules. Production rule 1, production rule 2, until the number of production, whatever production you want to write. And each, in front of each production rule, you have to mention the action. So action can be any C code statement, or action can be any another kind of code. Understood? That in the example I will tell you. So translation rule section is same, only the content which are going to mention there, that will be different. Here you are mentioning the patterns, here you are mentioning the production rules. Okay, I hope you got the difference between the translation rule section of Lex specification and translation rule section of Yak specification. So in this way, you have to write these things. So where this production that you are mentioning, this production 1, 2, 3. So this consists of different grammar production rules or syntactical rules, where we are writing this grammar production rule using some grammatical symbols. And in front of that, each action is action we are going to write. Okay. And describing what the action parser should take when the pattern production rule matches with the input. So if the input that you are going to give after when your syntax analyzer will generate the input you are going to give, that input will get checked against these grammatical rules. This in that input will check against these production rules. Understood? And if this production rule matches with the input, then certain action will be taken where you are writing this action. So whatever things you are going to mention in the action part, that will get executed when your production rules, grammatical rules match with the input that you are going to provide to the syntax analyzer. Understood? So this is your second section, translation rule section, and third section is the auxiliary function or user function, where you write some different function. Like in the lex user function, you have mentioned the function yylex to call the lex tool or the lex compiler. Understood? So this is all about the Yak input specification, which consists of the three section: declaration, rule section, and the user function. In the declaration part, you declare the tokens, you declare the header file, some what other kind of things that you want to declare. In the rule section, you write the rules in the form of grammatical rules and rules followed by the action. Okay, and in the user function, you mention the some auxiliary function that I will tell you in the example. Understood? So this is all about the Yak input specification. Okay. Now we'll try to understand this part with the help of some example. Okay. So that you will get the clear idea about how this Yak going to generate the syntax analyzer or the parser, and how we are going to check whether that parser or the syntax analyzer is going to checking your syntax of the statement correctly or not. Okay, so we'll try to understand it with the help of the this example. So working of Yak can be best illustrated by constructing the small calculator that can add and subtract numbers. So here we'll try to construct the syntax analyzer, and that syntax analyzer for the calculator means that syntax analyzer will do the function, will check whether your calculating functions are being done properly or not. Understood? For that purpose, we will try to generate the syntax analyzer. Okay. So here we'll try to generate the syntax analyzer for calculator, for calc. Okay. Syntax analyzer for the calc, and through that we will try to check how the syntax analyzer can check the syntax of your sentences. Okay. So now up till already we have discussed Yak is a computer program that generate the syntax analyzer and the parser. Okay. So Yak read the input tokens and generate the parser according to the specification. What the Yak does? Yak read the input tokens and generate the parser according to the specification. Okay. So Yak read the sorry, not the input tokens here. Here input specification, okay, and generate the parser according to the specification. Means if you mention the way you mention the rules, grammatical rules in the Yak input specification, accordingly your parser will be get generated. Okay. So here one more important thing you have to understand. Okay. Now in order to, now if you see the phases of the compiler, each phase is depends on another phase. Means what? If you see the parser or the syntax analyzer, so parser or the syntax analyzer cannot work until it get the tokens from the lexical analyzer. Like this scenario you already know, this is our lexical analyzer, then this is your syntax analyzer or the parser, and then next phases are there. So what input you are giving to the lexical analyzer? Some source code like C code, for example. Then lexical analyzer generate the tokens. Okay. Then by combining these tokens, syntax analyzer will check syntax. So for the syntax analyzer to check the syntax, it need the tokens. Means syntax analyzer is depend on the lexical analyzer. Syntax analyzer cannot work independently. Syntax analyzer has to depend on the lexical analyzer for the tokens, because only the syntax analyzer will receive the tokens, then only the syntax analyzer can check the syntax whether that expression is correct or not by combining this token. Okay, so when you are generating the syntax analyzer, that time also we need to generate the lexical analyzer also. We have to take the help of lexical analyzer also. So this scenario actually we are going to construct. Let's see. So first, now when you are writing the Yak program and compiling it and trying to generate the syntax analyzer, along with that you need to also write the lex program. Lex program for what? For generating the lexical analyzer, so that that lexical analyzer will create the tokens and set that tokens to the syntax analyzer. Understood? So when you want to construct the syntax analyzer, first and most important thing is what? You also need to construct the lexical analyzer also. So if you want to construct the lexical analyzer using the lex tool, you need to write the lex program. And when you want to construct the syntax analyzer also, you need to write the Yak program. Understood? So combining effort of these, that is nothing but the generation of syntax analyzer. Okay. So that scenario I have shown you here. To generate the syntax lexical analyzer, you have to write the lexical rules. Okay. And some code, and from that your lex compiler will generate the lexical analyzer. Your lex compiler will generate the lexical analyzer. So lexical, you have to write some lexical rules and some translation rules, some code, and then with the help of the function yylex, the lexical analyzer will generate. Okay. And then when you give some input as a higher level language code, then your lexical analyzer will generate some tokens here. That is already we have seen in the practical also. Then this token, okay, given as an input to the parser. Now how this parser is going to be generated? This parser is going to be generated using some grammatical rules and some C code. Understood? So these grammatical rule along with some C code will given as a input to the Yak tool. Like here some lexical rules and some C code you have given as an input specific to the lex, and then it is generating lexical analyzer. Same case is here. You have to write some grammatical rules as a context free grammar rules for syntax checking, and also you need to write some C code in the action part, and this is given as an input specification to the Yak. Then your Yak with the help of the parse function generate the parser. Okay, generate the parser, and to this parser you are giving the input as a token stream. Okay, collection of different tokens. Then these tokens being arranged together by the parser, and then parser will generate some output here. Parser will generate some output here. Okay, and that output will be what? Whether your sentence or the expression is syntactically correct or not. Understood? So as you can see here, now both of these programs you have to compile combinedly. You have to compile these both of the program combinedly. Understood? And then you have to generate the executable file as a.out. Okay. So one thing you should keep in mind here, in order to generate the syntax analyzer phase parser, we need to also generate the lexical analyzer so that it can generate the tokens and send it to the parser. So this is the most important thing in case of this. You need to understand. Okay. What is the important thing? Each phase is depends on one another. So if you want to construct the syntax analyzer or the parser, also you need to construct the lexical analyzer, and then combinedly you have to compile both of these file, and then your a.out will be get generated. And once your a.out will get generated, then you can check the syntax. Okay. So for that purpose, as we are trying to discuss generation of syntax analyzer using the Yak specification, using the Yak tool for the calculator. So as I said, if you want to generate the second phase of compiler is the syntax analyzer, you have to write the both the programs. Lexical analyzer, you have to write the program for generation of lexical analyzer also, you have to write the program for generation of syntax analyzer. So it means you have to write the lex program also and the yak program also. So this is your lex program. I have given the name to this as a cal.l, and this is your yak program. I have given name it as a cal.y. Understood? So let's try to understand this program one by one, and in the words also I have written there, but let's understand first here. So this is the lex input specification for simple calculator. This is a lex program. So as I said, it consists of three sections: declaration section, then rule section, and auxiliary functions. Here also you can see declaration section, rule section, and auxiliary function. Let's understand what each section contains. Okay, now first you can see here. Okay, first understand the rule section here, then we'll understand this declaration, because in order to understand the declaration section of lex, you need to understand this declaration section of the yak also. So first we understand the rule section of lex here. Now here simple 2-3 rules we have written. First rule is what? In rectangle bracket 0 to 9 plus. Now what this rule means? Meaning of this rule is what? It will match with the any number from 0 to 9. It will, whether it is the one digit or more than one digit. Means if you give the input to this lexical analyzer after the generation of lexical analyzer as a 1, 2, 3, it will get match here. Understood? It will get match here. Understood? Then what is this action part? Now if this will get match here, action part is nothing but returning that number to the syntax analyzer, because tokens we have to send to whom? We have to send the tokens to the syntax analyzer. For that purpose, action is written in this way, because you know this is the scenario we have discussed. Input source code to the lexical analyzer, then lexical analyzer will generate the tokens, and that tokens will send to the parser or the syntax analyzer. So once here lexical analyzer will generate the tokens, will recognize the token, that token has to send to the syntax analyzer, and for that purpose this action has to be written in the lex rule. So what is this action? YYLOL equal to A to I, Y text return number. Means what is this A to I? This A to I stands for the ASCII to the integer. Means whatever number you will write here, that will be get converted to the integer. Whatever things you will write here, if it is get match here, that ASCII will get converted to the integer. Okay, this number will get to convert to the some integer form. Okay, if it is match here, then it will be text will store that match string. Okay, number whatever it may be, and that will be stored in the this yyLval variable. This will be stored, that number will be stored in the yyL variable, and that will be written to the, that will be written as a number, that will be written as a number to the syntax analyzer. That will be written as a number to the syntax analyzer. Means that will be get written to the this program. Understood? I hope you understood the meaning of this rule. If you enter any digits, one digit or more than one digit, like this I told you, it will get match here, and then returning this as a tokens. Now this will be get determined as a tokens, as a some numbers. Understood? So that will be in the ASCII form. So convert to it into the integer. There is a function ASCII to integer, that will be, if it is match, then it will be get stored in this buffer and in this variable yyLval. Okay, then this will be get written as a number. It will get written as a number to the this yak program, to the syntax analyzer program. Okay, the syntax analyzer. Now using this program, you are going to generate the syntax analyzer. So this number will get returned to this yak program. Understood? Then what is this second rule? Second rule is related with the recognition of token as a operators. Means suppose if you write the statement like this 2 plus 3. Now where this 2 will be get recognized as a token? By the first rule. where these three will be get recognized as a token, as a number by the first rule, and will get returned to the syntax analyzer, will get returned to the Yak program here like this. But what about this plus? So this plus will match here, minus plus and return star YY text. So this plus will get match here. If it is get match here, it will get stored in this YY text. Understood? And then it will be returned to the syntax analyzer or to the Yak program. Okay. So it will automatically get recognized here. Understood? No need to send it to the syntax analyzer. Operators, no, for the operators there is no need to send it to the syntax analyzer. Only it will check here and automatically it will be convey to the it will be conveyed to the Yak program that plus has been checked, and so it is getting written here also. You can see here minus plus. If it is match here, return whatever contents are there in the YY text. YY text is a buffer. Whatever content is there in the YY text, return it. Now where it is returning? It is returning to the Yak program, because plus is also the token, numbers are also the tokens. So whatever tokens are getting recognized here, each token has to be sent to the Yak program. You are getting my point? That is the reason I said each phase depends on another. If this Yak program will not get the tokens, will this Yak program able to proceed? No. Only when this Yak program will able to proceed, only when it will get the tokens, only when it will get the tokens. So, and who is doing the work of sending these tokens? Your Lex program. Understood? So accordingly, now in this expression, now if you write the expression like this, 2 plus b, now is there any rule is written, we will identify this b as a tokens? No. Then it will get matched where? Here it will get matched with the dot, and it will be get declared as an invalid character, and then you get the lexical errors because you have not written the rule for the b here. If you want to recognize the b, you need to write the rule here. Understood? But you have written the rule here only for the numbers, because you want to do only the calculation operation. Understood? And the in the calculation operation also you need to mention about the operators also. Understood? So if anything apart from the digits and the operator you write there, it will get matched with the dot, and it will get, and which action will get performed? YY error function will be get called. Which function? YY error function. What is this YY error function? This is the inbuilt function which will declare the error. Regarding what kind of error? Invalid character. So if you give the input to this, when you compile these, and when you compile this using the Lex compiler, and after that you compile it with the C compiler, and when your lexical analyzer will generate, and when you give the input to this lexical analyzer as a 2 plus b, then 2 will be get recognized, plus will also get recognized, but b will not be get recognized because you have not mentioned the rule here, and regarding that the lexical error will be get displayed. Understood? And the last user function you have mentioned here, user function is a YYRAP function. So it is just used to check whatever input you are providing, whether that input processing has been done correctly or not. If it is finished, then return 1. If it is not finished, return 0. So that is all about the rule section of Lex program and the user function. Understood? Now you can see here, so in the declaration section, you have mentioned the hash rule yesterday library header file. Understood? And also you have mentioned about the YY error function also. And third part you have mentioned regarding the hash include y.tab.h. Now what is the meaning of this y.tab.h? That I'm telling you. So yesterday library function you need to mention here, as you are making the use of different kind of returning part here, and the A2I function also you are using here. So for this purpose you need to mention the header file is still lib.h. Now what is the role of this y.tab.h? Why you are mentioning this here? So let me tell you why you are writing that here. So first we need to understand here the declaration section of this particular program, Yak program. Now in the declaration section, what you have mentioned yesterday out.h, because here you are mentioning the printf. Okay, printf function utilizing. Then you have mentioned the YY lex function, and then you have mentioned the YY error function. Understood? and then somewhere here you declare the token number. So if you want to mention the regular definition, this is the regular definition. Then you have to mention that regular definition between declaration section and the rule section. Okay, this is the regular definition for the token. Means what? Some token is declared here. How to declare the tokens? Percentage sign, token, and whatever the name you want to give to the token. So here you have declared the token as a number. What? Token as a number. Now you have declared this token as a number here in the Yak program. Understood? Now how this will be known to the Lex program? How this will be known to the Lex program? Okay. So before that, let's understand about this functions YYLX and the YY error. YYLX function, because if you see this scenario, this is the lexical analyzer. To the lexical analyzer, you give some high level language code as a source code as input. Then it will generate the tokens. Then there is a syntax analyzer. Now syntax analyzer or the parser always has to demand the token. Always has to demand the token from what? Lexical analyzer. Okay, means what? Your parser or the syntax analyzer will run first. Understood? Means what it means? Your Yak program will run first. You have to run first the Yak program, or compile and run the Yak program first. You have to compile the Yak program first. Understood? So then that your Yak program will call your Lex program. Your Yak program then will call the Lex program, and for that purpose in the declaration section you have to mention the YYLex function. What? YYLex function. Why you are mentioning this? Because for whenever the reason behind that is what? Syntax analyzer always demand the tokens from the lexical analyzer. So to generate the syntax analyzer, this Yak program you are writing means what? First you need to compile your Yak program first. So if you compile the Yak program first, then your Yak program will call to the Lex program. Understood? And for that purpose, you need to declare this YYLex here. Understood? So it doesn't matter if you compile the Lex program first or the Yak program first, but always your Yak program will call the Lex program. And as your Yak program is calling the Lex program, you have to mention here YYLex function. Understood? YY error function. So if there is any error in the syntax, for that YY error function will be get called. That is the reason it's also declared here. Okay. Now come to this point. This token declaration as a regular definition. Percentage token number. Now this token you have declared here. Now you need to inform it to the Lex program also. You need to inform it to the Lex program also. Now here directly you are returning the number. You are making the use of this number token. But where it is declared? It is declared in the Yak program. So when the Yak program will compile, when your Yak program will compile, that Yak program will generate the two files that I told you. Which two files? y.tab.c and y.tab.h. Now what is this y.tab.h? This y.tab.h contain the information about the tokens which are declared in the Yak program. What it contains? Information about the tokens which are declared in the Yak program, and that is the reason this y.tab.h you have to mention here, so that your Lex program will able to know the definition of this number is written in the Yak program. Okay, definition of this number is written in the Yak program. So if you don't write this, definitely you will get the error regarding this number token. Whatever variable you utilize here number, you will get the error, because you need to tell it to the Lex that y.tab.h contains the information about the token which is declared in the Yak program. Means you are declaring the token here in the one program and you are using it in the another program. So how it can become possible? Only when this header file that is getting generated, that you have to mention in the Lex program. Understood? So I hope you understood this declaration part. Then come to the rule section part of the Yak program. This is the rule section part between this double percentage sign. So as I said, your rule section of the this particular Yak program, it consists of what? It consists of the left hand side and the right hand side, the way you write the grammar. So here you can see expr, and in front of that is a colon, and in front of the colon is the number. Expression as a number. This is the left hand side. This is the right hand side. You are getting the point. Expression, what is the rule written? Expression as a number. Okay. Then you can see next what is written. Okay. It should have been written like this. Okay. It should have been written like this, but you need to understand this. Okay. It should have been written like this here. Exp as a number. Okay. So this is your left hand side. This is your right hand side. Understood? Expression as a number, or you can see here bar or colon, meaning of that is a or. Expression as a number, or expression as a expression plus expression, or expression as a expression minus expression. You are getting the rules here. First understand the rules. Three rules are written: expression as a number, or expression as a expression plus expression, or expression as a expression minus expression. Only two operation we are performing here. That is the reason you are writing the grammatical rules for two operation only, plus and the minus, addition and the subtraction. And in front of this, each of the rule you have written, each rule you have written, production rule, you have mentioned we need to mention the action. So this is the action part. Understood? Now, what is the action part written for the expression plus expression? Double dollar equal to $1 plus $3. Now consider you have written the expression like this. 2 plus 3. Consider you have written the expression like this. 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3. Now what will happen regarding this expression? First, your program will processing will start from the main part. Okay, from main part. Now in the main part, what you have written, yy parse function. Now this yy parse function is calling to the your yak tool. It's calling to the yak tool. Then also this yy parse function will call to the yy-lex function automatically. This yy parse function will also call to the yy-lex function. Means you will come here. What you will come here along with some input. Now what is your input? 2 plus 3. Along with some input you will come here. Okay. Now 2 plus 3. So 2 will get match here. So 2 will get written as a token here. 2 will get as a token. Plus will match here. Plus will get written as a plus operator here. 3 also will get match here. 3 will get written as a token number here. So whatever input you have given, it is first check whether it is that input is forming the tokens or not. If it is forming the tokens, then it will written by the lexic, then it will be written by this lex program to the yak program. And then in the yak program, what will happen? See. So if these are all the tokens, then again these tokens will be combined as a 2 plus 3 because they are all from the tokens. If in place of 2 plus 3 you written the 2 plus b, so token generation will not happen and the lexical error will happen. But if you mention like 2 plus 3 as an input, then it will be recognized as a token by matching with these rules. Now, then it will come to this part, rule section of the yak. Then it will check whether at which rule this 2 plus 3 is matching. The expression as a what? Expression as a what? Expression as a 2 plus 3. Barabar? So what is the 2? 2 is also one expression. Plus is what? Plus is operator. 3 is also expression. So it will easily match with these rules. Expression as a expression plus expression. 2 plus 3. It is matching these rules. If it is matching with these rules, this action will be get performed. What is this action? Double dollar equal to $1 plus $3. Now what is the meaning of double dollar? Meaning of the double dollar is what? Left hand side of the expression. Keep in mind, this is very important. Meaning of the double dollar, left hand side of the expression, equal to $1. $1 is what? First expression or the first variable. $3 is what? Third variable. $3 is third variable, and plus consider as a second variable. Understood? As it is a operator. And then your 2 plus 3 will be get performed. What? Your 2 plus 3 will get performed as action, and then you should come the result as a 5. What result you will come? 5. Understood? So if you get the result as a 5, then definitely you can consider that this is syntactically correct. Understood? And this 2 plus 3, this 2 plus 3 must be followed by the semicolon. Because here you are ending with the semicolon. You are ending it with the semicolon. Understood? So like that, you need to concentrate on this rule section and action part. You can see each of these part is ended by the semicolon. Each of these part is ended by the semicolon. Understood? So if you write the expression like 2 minus 3, then it will get matched with here expression minus expression. Understood? And what action will be performed? Double dollar equal to $1 minus $3. Understood? And when this rule come into the picture, now suppose you are writing the input is 2 plus 3. Okay, so its result will be 5. Now let me take it like expression as a 2 plus 3, correct? So after its result, it will come result as a 2 plus 3 as a 5. Means expression plus expression becomes a single expression as a number. So it will get match here expression as a number. So double dollar is your this left hand side. Now $1 contain the result as a 5. Understood? And accordingly you can display it. So in this program something is missing. Okay, here there must be we need to take the printf, and you need to take the input also, input like 2 plus 3 that I am telling you here. Also you need to display the result, that addition of this part. Okay, that is not there, but just for the understanding purpose I am telling you what exactly rule section and this part. Understood? In the practical session you will get you will understand all this clear cut idea about the program. Okay, here just for the understanding purpose what exactly is the rule section of yak program as compared to the rule section of lex program I am trying to tell you. Also here you have mentioned the yy error function. Okay, so if there is a error in your expression, like expression like suppose for example, now if you have given the input like int, now these rules are not related with that, but just I'm telling you the inputs. For example, if you give the input like int a and the semicolon, now this is the actual syntax we know. What syntax key in C language, if you want to declare variable, you should declare like this. Understood? For that I have also done the demonstration program. I will upload it. Okay, now but if you miss the colon, if you miss the semicolon, then definitely you will come some error. So now to show that kind of error, yy error function is mentioned. So whenever your input contains some syntactical error, that will be get displayed through the yy error function. Understood? So that will display the some error there. For that purpose yy error function is written. Understood? So I hope all of you understood the lex program as well as the yak program. Now next thing comes how to compile these combinedly and how to generate the syntax analyzer, and how the rest of the part will happen. That will I will tell you in the next part. Here just you need to understand the difference between the lex program, declaration section, rule section, and the user defined functions. Okay, user functions. Understood? So this is the most important part, rule section of the this particular yak program, where you are writing the rules in the form of the grammars. Like in the grammar also you must be knowing, we used to write the grammar like e derives e plus e. Okay, in the similar way you have to write the rules here, and in front of that rules you have to write the action, and that some code you have to mention. The meaning of code I told you, double dollar indicate the right left hand side, the $1 first variable, $3 second, $3 indicate our second variable. Understood? Plus plus indicate the operator. Understood? So $2 is for the plus, which in case of the operator, there is no need to mention. Understood? So this is all about these two programs. The same thing I have written here in the words also. The definition declaration as a number, as a token here. Yak generates the file y.tab.c. Yak generates and another file y.tab.h that I told. Now this y.tab.h, it is for the lex. Y.tab.h for the lex. The Yak program generate that file from the Yak grammar file information. Okay. So here, whatever declaration you make regarding the tokens, that need to inform to the lex. And for that purpose, when you compile this program, automatically two files will generated y.tab.c and y.tab.h, where the y.tab.h contain the tokens which are declared in the Yak, which can be utilized in the lex. Okay. For that purpose, so you need to compile the program with the .d option in order to generate the y.tab.h. Okay, in the practical part, I have told you that. Then different functions we have written here. Already I told you to obtain the tokens. Yak call the yylex. That is the reason here I mentioned the yylex. The function yylex returns the tokens. Okay, automatically when you call the parser, it will call the yylex, and this program will get process and it will send the tokens to the Yak program. Okay. The value associated with the token is written by the lex in the variable yyLval. So value associated with the token is stored in the yyLval, and that value is written to the Yak program. Understood? For example, if you can see this rule, the rule section contains the following rule. It means that value of the number will be stored in the yyLval. Means value whatever there in this number, that will be stored in the yyLval, and the token number will be returned to the Yak. So and this number will be returned to the Yak by the lex. Understood? Whatever things will get recognized here, that will get stored in the yyLval, and that will be returned as a number to the Yak. Okay. Then also another function like rule section of the Yak input specification consists of the production of the context free grammar, like left hand side and the right hand side. This is the left hand side, and this is the right hand side, as you can see all the things here. Okay. The left hand side of the production is enter left justified entities followed by the column. After the left hand side, you have to mention the colon. Okay. And action associated with the rules are entered in the braces. So here are the actions are mentioned in the curly braces. A to I function is used in the C programming language that convert in this here it is usually utilized in the C programming language, but here also you have utilized, which is used to convert the string into an integer numerical representation form. So ATI stands for the ASCII to the integer form. Understood? Then here already also I told you this $$ stands for the left hand side of the variable of the production. $1 stand for the first symbol on the production. $3 stand for the third symbol on the right hand side of the production. So you call the function parse, and this calling cause the parsing to occur. And if there is any kind of error is there, the error function will get called and the error will get displayed. yylex returns the value indicating the type of the token that has been obtained. So whatever the token has been obtained here, that will be sent to the Yak here. Okay. Okay, and also we have mentioned about the yygraph function, which is called by the lex, and it will check whether the all the input has been finished or not. It return 1 if your input is finished, return 0 if more processing is required. Okay. And now only the last thing is related with how to run this program. That is the most important thing here. How to run this program together. As I said, if you want to generate the second phase of compiler to check the syntax, that is the syntax analyzer, if you want to generate, then you need to run this program combinedly. You need the both the program, lex as well as the Yak program. Okay. So let's see that. Here first we have compiled the Yak program. So command for that Yak -d cal y. If you compile it like this, it will generate the y.tab.h also. So that is required. Okay. Then now when you compile this, these two files will be generated, y.tab.c and y dot tab dot h. Understood? So it is better to compile the Yak program first. Then you have to compile the lex program, and this lex program will generate the two files, lex dot yy dot c program. And then combinedly, these two files you have to again compile using the C compiler. So GCC lex.yy.c, y.tab.c, lex libraries, and Yak library. And then when you compile these, like, you will generate the one executable file that is nothing but your parser or the syntax analyzer, that is the a.out here. And then you have to execute this a.out. So same scenario I have shown. The name of the program is different, bash.y, bash.l. So here from the Yak y.tab dash will send to the lex, then y.tab.c and the lex.yy.c, y.tab.c generated by the yy parse function, while lex.yy.c generated by the yy by the lex program. Then combinedly you have to compile it using the GCC, and then it will generate some executable file, that is the a.out. And when you give some input to that executable file, like some source code, high level language code, it will generate the output. For example, you give the input like 4 plus 5. So 4 will get match here, 5 will also get match here, plus will get match here, and then it will be written as a token to the Yak program. And then Yak program will perform the action using in the Yak program. This will match with this rule 4 plus 5, and this action will perform and the result will be returned. But if you give the input, if you give the input like this here, 4 into 5. Now 4 will get match here, 5 also get match here. What is about the into? So into will not get match here, and only the two tokens will be sent. Only 4 and the 5 will be sent. And because multiplication will not get match here, error will come here. Understood? So then if only these two will be sent, then it will not going to match with anything. Okay, it will not going to match anything, and automatically YY error function will come as a syntactical error here. Understood? So for each and everything that you want to check using the compiler, for each and everything related with the any language, for each and everything you have to write the that kind of rules when the designing of compiler is taking place. Understood? And here we are trying to understand it with the help of some Lex and Yak tool, how we can generate such kind of pages of compiler. Understood? So related with these practicals, I have already uploaded, and I will upload the remaining also. In that you can easily understand. Suppose if you write the now program is now, if you write the things like int a followed by the int a only. Now related with this, I have written the program related with syntax checking. Now what is exactly syntax of writing these? Syntax of exactly writing this is what? Int a followed by the semicolon. But if you write like this, then it is incorrect. So we have the program in the SPOS lab, that is the, you write a Yak specification to generate the syntax analysis phase of compiler to check syntax of variable declaration. So if you declare the variable like this, then definitely you will get the syntax error. You just go through that program. But if you declare the variable like this, you will not get the errors, because in the rule section of Lex, you need to mention the that particular kind of rules of recognizing the tokens like int a semicolon like this. And in the rule section of grammatical rules here, you need to mention the rules of checking the syntax of declaration variable. Now this is just related with the calculation. Understood? It is just the sample I am telling you. This is just related with the calculation. Understood? Now here also, if you are written here that every expression that you write, it must end with the semicolon. Then if you write like this 4 plus 5, now it will, and if it is not ended with the semicolon, then definitely also you will get the error, because here you have written the rule like this. What? After every expression there must be a semicolon, like that kind of things. So particularly the way you write the rules here, accordingly lexical analyzer will generate. The way you write the rules here, syntax analyzer will get generated. So that is all I am trying to tell you. So that is I have shown here. This scenario also I have told you. Okay. So that's it from this lecture. You just go through the practical related with this lecture. you will get the clear idea. If you have any doubt, you can mention in the comment section. Thank you all of you.